The hosts of The View have the biggest fight amongst each other in the show's history over free speech. Now, we've seen them have spats, we've seen them have disagreements, but this is by far the biggest fight amongst each other that they've ever had. Like, I don't know how these ladies are gonna go back to working with each other after this one. And what they're fighting over is Facebook's new announcement that they're going to move towards being a platform centered around free speech and not suppression. And The View loses their minds over this. They state blatantly and clearly that they are not fans of free speech. They are not supporters of free speech. And it exposes a truth we've all known about the people on the left, that they do not support American values. They do not believe in the ideals of the Constitution. Now let's dive into this because this descends into chaos quickly. Watch.
I'm just curious because human rights activists warn that this is a major step back that'll have misinformation, conspiracy theories, and bigotry running wild on the site. My question is, when did fact-checking become a bad thing?
Since Donald Trump became president.
Yes.
Let me stop her there. Fact-checking became a problem when it became a term that means silencing and suppressing any opinion that does not fit the extreme woke left narrative. Facebook already came out and admitted that they suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story because the FBI told them to, that they suppressed any content that was contradictory to the vaccination mandate, that they suppressed any kind of content that questioned the radical gender ideology. But let's get back into it.
I'm going to just reject the fact that we don't know what a fact is.
Really?
I reject it outright.
No
There
one's
is a difference
suggesting that,
between
though.
opinion and fact. And there is, journalists, like people that are, work for the New York Times, they know how to fact check. Journalism students are taught you fact check 3 different sources.
Journalists have gotten things wrong,
So
though.
this
That's
notion,
happened throughout
but
history.
this notion that, the reason that they're doing this is because, they can't fact check it.
But free speech gives you a right to be wrong. I have a right to post something
Yes,
that's
you do.
inaccurate. I have a right to
Yes,
say
you do.
the
But
grass is blue.
Facts are different.
That shouldn't be taken down simply because it's fact, not true.
Disinformation is different. And so I think what you're finding is this company is also getting rid of content restrictions on topics like gender identity and immigration. Calling women, by the way, household objects is now permitted on Facebook.
But do you think it shouldn't be as much?
Users are now allowed to, for example,
just real
refer
quick,
to women
let's talk about
as house. I just wanted to put a button on what I was saying. There's a difference between free speech and hate speech, and we know that. Free speech, I welcome. I think everyone welcomes. It's your constitutional right. When you start delving into hate speech, which is what is happening all over social media, there's a problem with that. When you start delving into misinformation and disinformation, there's a problem with that. Meta's new hate speech guidelines permit users to call people in the LGBTQ plus community mentally ill. That is harmful.
Isn't it so rich coming from Sunny Hostin that she says that we know what facts are versus opinions when she states opinions as they were facts so often that her network requires her to read a legal note almost any time she opens her mouth. Her saying Meta allows people to call housewives household items or allows them to call transgender people mentally ill. What's the problem with that? That is free speech. You are allowed to say what is on your mind. These people literally have a Stalin-esque approach to how to control people. Do they not understand that the reason free speech is so important is because the moment you start trying to moderate any kind of speech, it's then up to a person to decide what speech is allowed or isn't. And that person inherently is going to disallow the speech that they disagree with, that doesn't fit their narrative, that doesn't help them control and retain power. It's a dangerous game to play.